This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Sunday. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, a big effort to lessen the impact of car thefts. The city of Gresham distributes free anti-theft devices. What city leaders are encouraging car owners to do? Plus, a group is being tasked by the city of Portland to intentionally tag buildings with graffiti. Why they're calling this a preventative measure. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Rod Hill this morning for our Sunday forecast. Rod?
Good morning. We do have a little bit of moisture out there flying around this morning in the form of some light rain. There's not much, and maybe in your neighborhood you've seen a little bit of this, and maybe you haven't yet. We do have cloudy skies, good visibility coming into town. Temperatures are generally holding well above freezing. We're at 41, in fact, at the airport. So that's a steady temperature. Basically, since the cloud deck came in yesterday afternoon, we haven't budged. There are cooler numbers and mostly 30s on this map. Happy Valley up at 1,000 feet, 34. Sandy's holding at 36. Out in Hillsboro, it's holding at 36 degrees as well. Down in Salem, we're in the upper 30s. The Kaiser also coming in at 39. So our day, a gray one, cloudy skies expected. Temperatures will be steady right around 40, 42 it looks like throughout the day. And we'll continue this ongoing chance of mostly a light rain shower. Now starting tonight, we could start to see some flurries in the air, but at this point, we're just talking about very limited traceable amounts of moisture, which is what we'll end up with today. Tim?
All right, Rod, thanks so much. Well, new this morning, police shot a man they say was suicidal and a danger to his wife and children at a home in Longview. Longview police got a call just before midnight last night that the man was armed with a gun at a home in the 2400 block of Mulberry Avenue. Police requested mutual aid from other agencies, including Kelso Police, and it was a Kelso officer that was involved in a shooting with the suspect. The man was taken to the hospital and was alive. We don't know his current condition. Nobody else was hurt. Well, turning to the city of Gresham now, and it has seen a significant rise in the number of car thefts this year. So on Saturday, the city did something to help change that trend. Art Edwards takes us there.
People lined up outside the Gresham Fred Meyer on Southeast Burnside in hopes of getting the club. The line stretched a long way around the building. The club is a device that locks the steering wheel to keep someone from driving a car away. The city of Gresham held a giveaway for the anti-theft device Saturday afternoon.
We're doing our part to encourage and bring awareness around doing anything you can to prevent that theft, and these anti-theft devices are one of those ways in which to do it.
There's a need right now to get a handle on car theft, especially in Gresham. The crime has increased by 17% this year. The 5 most stolen models of cars in Gresham this past year include Ford, Honda, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Kia. The city had just over 100 of the club to give away, and they went in less than an hour.
We knew this was a growing need in our community, and we anticipated that it would be well received. We just had no idea it would be this well received. The appreciation and the sincerity and the support has been really encouraging.
Beyond using an anti-theft device, Gresham's chief of police says there are other things people can do. Never leave your unattended car running. Do not leave valuables where they can be seen. Lock them in the trunk or take them with you. Close and lock the windows and doors. Park in a well-lit area. And use an anti-theft device if possible, the club or something similar, or an alarm system. The chief put people stealing cars on notice.
We will enforce the law and we will hold the people accountable, but we all need to do our part to make the community safe.
Okay, city leaders want to be able to help more people. They hope to do another giveaway of the club in January. Well, the city of Portland has hired a group of people to help clean up graffiti in the Rose City with more graffiti. You heard that right. And the tactic is proving to be effective to ward off vandals. The company Graffiti Removal Services has been hired to scrub away unwanted graffiti in downtown as well as the Central East Side. They then spray paint, I should say, these stencil designs on top. They've dubbed it the Rose City Rebound Plan.
We're part of getting the city back. We're proud of the city. We want to make sure it's vibrant, it's alive. We're going to keep on it. We're going to keep going with it as long as the city, is backing us, which they have, tremendously, and they keep coming up with new ideas and new plans. We're going to keep doing it.
And the hope is to expand to the entire city Now, if you see graffiti, you can easily report it online on the city's website. After submitting that complaint, workers will determine if the graffiti tag falls within their scope of work. We'll have a link to the application on kgw.com. Well, a recent string of shootings outside Portland area high schools could spell the return of school resource officers. The Portland Police Bureau and Portland Public Schools are discussing the idea. That conversation around bringing back officers in schools comes a little more than 2 years after the program was disbanded. Mike Benner looks at the issue for us.
This was the scene outside Cleveland High School on Monday. Officers collecting evidence after a 16-year-old student is shot in broad daylight. It comes just weeks after several Jefferson High School students were injured in separate shootings near that school.
If there's one place in this community that people should feel safe above all else, it's the kids in our schools. And they clearly don't, and they're clearly exposed.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler revealed Wednesday that the Portland Police Bureau and Portland Public Schools are talking about putting school resource officers back in schools. Chief Chuck Lavelle, a former SRO himself, is intrigued.
Definitely, we are very mindful of the need to keep our kids safe in the school setting, and we're excited to have any discussions that might potentially lead to a return of officers in schools.
Community reaction to the idea is mixed. One woman writing on Facebook that SROs at her school only caused tension and picked on certain kids. But another woman posting that she thinks it's a great idea. SROs can give kids a little ease and someone to talk to.
It is proven that they belong in schools.
Sergeant Aaron Schmautz is currently the president of the Portland Police Association, but he used to oversee the SRO program. In fact, he was at the helm when it was disbanded. It was June 2020. George Floyd had just been murdered. Race and policing were top of mind.
It was one of those times that you'll never forget because you realize that something significant was happening.
Sergeant Schmautz thinks it's time for SROs to return to schools, with the right training, of course, because a lot of the violence we're seeing today, he says, involves people who experienced violence or engaged in violence as a young person.
We have to reach these kids young, help them, divert them from the criminal justice system, and get them off this pathway to violence.
The news is news to us.
Angela Bonilla, president of the Portland Association of Teachers, says this is the first the union is hearing of a possible return of SROs. Bonilla says the union does not have an official position, but what is clear is they want to be part of the conversation.
We understand that there are some folks in our community that feel safer when there are police, and there are also several folks in our community where police presence does not increase their sense of safety. And we know that in order to learn, you need to feel safe.
It's Mike Benner reporting there. Portland Public Schools did release a statement saying they look forward to continued discussions with the Portland Police Bureau. District leaders say they're committed to keeping schools safe while working with both students and the community to find a solution to the gun violence. Well, 13 people are out of their homes after a fire broke out in a Vancouver apartment complex. Vancouver Fire received a call early Saturday morning on Northeast 62nd Avenue. Firefighters say they found an older woman lying on her bed in the apartment where the fire started. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. No word yet on what started that fire. Temporary housing is being provided for displaced residents. Turning to our homeless crisis now, it appears Multnomah County is not ready to financially back the Portland mayor's new plan. Commissioners unanimously voted to approve millions of dollars toward rental assistance for families, as opposed to directing it toward funding sanctioned homeless camps that the mayor suggested. The county had $28 million to allocate from Metro's supportive housing assistance tax. $15 million will now go toward helping tenants pay for rent. Another $1 million will be spent to get people into homes more quickly. The remaining $12 million will go into a contingency fund. Incoming County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson had previously voiced support for the mayor's plan, but she voted with her fellow commissioners.
I also want to clearly state that I am strongly supportive about the investments we're making today with these dollars. $15 million of which will go to rental assistance to keep individuals and families housed.
Mayor Ted Wheeler and Commissioner Dan Ryan say they're disappointed in the vote with the coming change in leadership at the county. At this point, it's unclear if and when commissioners plan to reconsider their request for funding. Well, a new mode of transportation is rolling along Portland's south waterfront. Coming up next, we'll look at the idea behind the free taxi service for those coming and going from OHSU.